Continuing along in the Sefer Halikutim, Tzemach Tzedek, in the volume which has Umot haOlam, the Hasidus of the Tzemach Tzedek, page Tov Kuf Yud Ches, which would be 518. I think we're on the second paragraph there. In the middle of the page, it begins Tanan.
Yeah, I believe so too.
All right. So let us begin. Tanan. It has been taught in a Mishnah. And this Mishnah is from Pirkei Avos, Ethics of the Fathers, as it's called. Asara doirois me Adam ad Noach. Hulu. 10 generations from the first man, Adam, until Noach. Asara doirois me Noach ad Avraham. Hulu. And 10 generations from Noach until Avraham, etc. Says the Mishnah, Lohoidia, in order to inform us, Kama erech apayim lefanov. To what extent, how much patience there is before him. We're going to focus on these words. Literally, erech comes from the word long, and apayim literally means face. Or if you really, really want to get literal, as we're going to discuss, it comes from the word nose, which is the center of the face. And erech apayim means long or slow to anger. Okay? To show us how patient or how slow to anger lefanov, before him, before Hashem. Says the Mishnah, Shekol adoiros, for all the generations, hayu machisin uvain chuli. We're angering him and coming. Next generation continued to anger Hashem, and so on and so forth. And he did not do anything. He did not punish them until, finally came Noach and the flood and all that. No, that's the quote from the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, as we said. Now says the Tzemach Tzedek, third line, Tehine, for behold, Beperush erech apayim, in the interpretation of this expression used here in the Mishnah, which is actually, as we're about to see, taken as a verse in the Torah. It's in the written law as well. It says erech apayim, which we said means slow to anger. Omru razal, Rabbi Seinu Zikreinom Livracha. Our teachers of blessed memory said, Be'eruvin, in the Talmud tractate, Eruvin, Perek Beis, chapter 2, Daf Chaf Beis, Amud Aleph, page 22a. Says the Talmud, the Gemara, My dichsiv. What is the meaning of the verse, Erech Apayim? It's quoting the verse which has the 13 attributes of mercy, and it says there, Erech Apayim. So the Talmud asks, why does the Torah use the expression Erech Apayim? Erech Af mi ba'elei. He should have said, the verse should have stated, Erech Af. In other words, Erech means long or slow. Now, Af is an expression for anger, as we find in other places in the Torah, in the Chumash. Haroin Af means anger. It actually means the heating up or the flaring of the nose. And if you want to get very technically grammatical, or linguistic, I should say, the reason why that's called anger is because the way Hashem made the human being, our human nature is that when one gets angry, so their nostrils flare up and heat comes out, or comically smoke or fire comes out of the nose. So allegorically speaking, when Hashem, as it were, gets angry, so that's called af. The word af by itself besides meaning nose, actually means anger. All right, but if af means anger, so it should say erech af. Hashem is patient. He's very slow to anger. Why apayim? Apayim is double, right? Like you have many words. If it's plural, so it becomes yud mem at the end, or like in this case, two yuds and a mem. Like I can give so many examples. Meya means 100. Masayim is 200. Aleph is 1,000. Alpayim is 2,000. Na'al is shoe. Na'alayim is shoes. And so on. There's many, many, many words like that. So apayim is the plural for af. And af means anger. So if it's erech af, that would make sense. So the Gemara asks, why does the verse say erech apayim? Ella rather answers the Talmud, answers the Gemara. Erech apayim, there's double patience or double extension before he angers. Latzadikim, for the righteous, and erech apayim larishoyim. There's also the patience, or he's very slow to anger, for the wicked. Hence we have the word apayim double, two erechs, two slow to anger. Upiresh Rashi, and Rashi on that piece of Gemara comments, apayim, when the verse says apayim, which literally means faces, because it doesn't have to mean anger, it could mean face, like af means nose, which is the center of the face. So, says Rashi, apayim mashma is implying bein soichakois, bein zoyamois, whether laughing, meaning positive, happy, or whether angry. Apayim soichakois, when we're saying Hashem's face is happy and laughing, ma'arich is very long and extended and slow. Ume'acher, and he delays latzadikim, for the righteous, la'asilavi, for the future. In other words, the righteous, which make Hashem happy, and he will pay them their reward, Hashem is very slow to do so, and he's only going to do it in the future. He doesn't rush to pay them. And that's out of his kindness. He's very slow to do that. Simple meaning of that Rashi and in the Talmud would be that because the real reward is only in the world to come, so no matter what Hashem would give them here, that wouldn't be as great as there. So therefore, we need to be patient, and Hashem is very, very slow because he wants to do it in the real fashion of good. And then the apayim zoyamois, and what about the angry face? Ma'arich lo reshoyim, Hashem also extends for the wicked. Ume'asher, and he delays pur anusam lasilavai, their punishment, their calamity and tragedy for the future. Now, the simple meaning, one might say, means that Hashem wants to really punish them big time, and therefore, no matter how bad they can get it in this world, that's nothing compared to the punishment that they would get in the world to come. Just like in the positive, no matter how much good Hashem rewards the righteous here, that's nothing compared to the real good. So too, no matter how bad the wicked people's life could be here, it's nothing compared to there. But that's not necessarily the meaning here, because then he adds, V'ayin sham, vav ayin shin, v'ayin sham, and take a good look there, b'toisfois, in the commentary on the page in the Talmud. Aside for Rashi, there's what's called Tosfos. There's the additional commentary to Rashi. Literally, the word Tosfos means addition. So it's an addition to Rashi. It's many of them are his colleagues, and they lived around the same time. Actually, some of them are his grandchildren. So the commentary Tosfos over there explains the Shneim L'Toiva, that actually both of these erechs, even the one for the anger for the wicked, is also for good. And Tosfos says to give them the opportunity and the chance to do teshuvah. That's why Hashem is waiting to take payment and punish the wicked only in the future, not, as we just said, in order to really be able to give them what they deserve, but on the contrary, it's to give them the chance and the opportunities. Therefore, he's very patient and he's delaying it so they can do teshuvah. Okay, so now we've explained why the expression is erech apayim instead of erech af, that it's double patience for the tzaddikim as well as for the rishoyim. V'ho'inyan hu, says the Tzemach Tzedek, and the idea, the theme is kichol mashe ha'oivdei koichavim, that whatever and everything that the idolaters mikablim receive, shefa v'chayus, a flow of energy and life, be'olam hazeh, in this world, mikdushasoi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the holiness of Hashem, of the Holy One, blessed be He. Uchsiv, and the verse says, Ve'ata, and you, Hashem, mechaye es kulam, you give life to all. So the fact that Hashem is continuously giving life and giving an abundance of energy and all these good stuff to the sinners, to the wicked idolaters, this is coming from his patience, from his very, very slow to anger, v'rav chesed, and also in the 13 attributes, besides Erech Apayim, it says in that verse also v'rav chesed, that Hashem's kindness is great. This is Yossi Schwartz trying to quote in Yechia Melech, yes. James, he says he can't get on with the old link.
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird. I'll send him a new one. Yeah, I've been looking for him.
Yeah, he's looking for you, and we haven't found you. Hold on.
It's the same one. I sent it to his personal one, and I sent it to him to his
Okay, send it to both your phones, personal and Moishana or business or whatever it is.
And I'll send it also. We're being recorded, so be careful. But yeah, I'll send it to his personal messenger too.
Wait, he's sending it to your personal one. Sorry. Okay. So V'rav Chesed, and much and great is Hashem's kindness.
I'll keep an eye out for him. I sent it to 3 different communications for him.
Dehainu, meaning mipnei, because shehu yisparech, that he, capital H, Hashem, blessed be he, koil yochoil. Okay, whatever the word in English for that is,
omnipresent and
well, I don't know if it's omnipresent.
Hold on a second.
Koil yochol, he is all able.
Oh yeah, it'd be like all powerful. Oh, I think that's a vulgarization of it, but yeah.
So he's able to do everything and anything. There's nothing that he cannot do. Umechayeh, and he gives life. Umashpia, and he brings the flow of life, the influences. B'chinas v'rav chesed. In this way, in this aspect, which was referred to as v'rav chesed. Therefore, af b'makoim shemechasu master al k'tushasei yisbarech, even in a place which covers and conceals his very holiness, his very presence, and they call him Hashem of the gods. So even though that is not true, because there is no other true entity or no other divine force other than him, yet even though this is what they claim and this is what is in a revealed sense, because he's so concealed, yet he has no quote unquote problem with being present there and actually giving the idolaters and those that are going against his will, giving them all their needs and beyond. So in other words, for a human being, if not impossible, it would be very difficult that if someone is going against, so to say, the system, so how can they benefit from it? If someone is rebelling against the king, how can you expect the king to continuously give the person? But Hashem is Kol Yochel, and therefore it's irrelevant. So that's some of the Erech HaPayim for the Rishayim. For the wicked idolaters, he is also infinitely patient. All right. Did he come on?
Very good. No, I'm kind of worrying about him. I don't know what it could possibly be. I'm sending him the link over and over.
Let me see.
I sent it to his SMS, his phone. I've sent it to his WhatsApp.
He sent you the link to whatever he's.
It's the same link I sent you, Rabbi Turen, so I don't know.
He's asking for the meeting ID.
Oh, okay. Oh, good question. I don't know how to find that. Info, maybe. Okay, here we go. I've got the meeting ID.
I don't know why that. Never did that.
Does he want me to send it to him?
Should he send you the meeting ID? Okay. Do you have the Sefer in front of you? Okay.
I'm going to copy and paste the number he's requesting and send him that.
Okay, we're waiting. Sorry. Sure. We're learning about Hashem's infinite patience.
Yes. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. Strange. And I gotta see if he's logging in. Nope. I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, we're waiting.
It's strange. I haven't had this problem before, so I'm not sure if it's on our end. I haven't seen him in the waiting room either.
Okay, you work on it. Okay.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Admitting.
Fine.
That's him.
Is he in?
Somebody's in. It doesn't have his name on it, but I'm assuming it's him.
All right.
There we go. Okay, he's in.
There we go.
Hey, Yossi, nice to see you.
It's not my best side, but okay, it's all right.
All right. We are on the bottom of page Tov Kuf Yud Ches, the last piece on page Tov Kuf Yud Ches.
Okay.
So this is sort of a footnote on the previous piece. And it's actually also in Torah of the Alter Rebbe. Okay, let's continue. Miloshen zeh, from this expression, this language, shehu yisbarech kel yochel, that we refer to Hashem as being a kel yochel, able to do everything and anything literally, and there's nothing that he can't do. Hamashma'us, the implication, shim heyois, that even though shekoyes alehem, that he's angry with them, the idolaters, the wicked, evil Rishayim that go against his will, he's angry with them. Nonetheless, hu yisbarech, he, blessed be he, koil yochel, is all able, lisboil, to contain, to put up with, ulahashpiachuli, and to influence and to give them the flow of anything and everything and give them a lot. So that is not a human trait. As the Alter Rebbe says elsewhere in Tanya with regards to something totally different, as far as teshuva and repeating past transgressions and apologizing. The Alter Rebbe says that any human being eventually will run out of patience. Some sooner, some later. And if someone wrongs someone else and apologizes, the first couple of times you can forgive them. But if they don't stop and they continue to do it, even though they may be sincere in their apology, after a while, you cannot forgive them any longer. Because we are limited, so each attribute that we have has its limit. So even someone very patient, eventually their patience will run out. Whereas Hashem is literally koil yochel, he can do all and anything, so there's no contradiction. So he can really be angry with them, and yet he can, so to say, to use our terminology, handle and tolerate them. So Hashem's tolerance has no limit. And this is the language that the Talmud, as we brought down in the previous piece, says that Hashem is slow to anger, even for the Rishayim. You know, as we said, that he's very patient and he doesn't pay the tzaddikim, the righteous ones, until the future. And likewise, he doesn't punish the Rishayim until the future. And he's very, very patient. The Piresh Rashi, so Rashi on that piece of Gemara in Eruvin explains, Apayim, the double language of Apayim, not just Marich Af, but apayim, erech apayim, zeumois, angry face, ma'arich lo rishoyim. He extends, he's very long, very slow to anger for the rishoyim. V'chein mashma, and so it is implied, miloshoin, from a different language that we have elsewhere in the Talmud, hein dvuroisav, that indeed those are Hashem's strengths, meaning, oiv de koichavim, this is what the Talmud says, the idolaters, the evil, wicked, rishoyim, meraktim behecholoi, are dancing in his sanctuary, in the place of the holy temple, the Beis Hamikdash, on the Temple Mount. They are destroying the temple, and they're dancing there. That's like the biggest audacity possible. V'hu and he remains silent. How is it that a bolt of lightning doesn't come instantly and strike them dead on the spot? How could this be? How is he so tolerant?
That's my question every day.
So how is he so tolerant? V'im kein, and if so, zehu inyan moichin de gadlus. This is the concept of what we have called intellect of great, of broad, of big. In other words, there's two expressions. There are two types of moichin, of intellect. There's katnus, small, which basically means petty. And then there's very, very broad. And a person who is very, very broad-minded intellectually can tolerate the opposite opinion. And as the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, children generally that have not yet developed and are still immature, that's why we find that the things that excite them and make them happy are so seemingly insignificant or petty. And likewise, the things which anger them and throw them into a rage and make them so angry are so insignificant and silly. That's because they have moichin de katnus, because they're still intellectually not developed, not mature. Whereas somebody who's an adult, let alone if he is a very intelligent, broad-minded adult, so he will only get angry from things which are worth getting upset about. So, if so, Hashem, the ultimate, the Koil Yochel, he has true infinite moichin de gadlus, lisboil, to tolerate davar sheneged ritzoynoi, something which is against and the opposite of his will. Mashakasuv b'mokim acher, as is written elsewhere, al pasuk, based on the verse in the Chumash. This is in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers. So there's a verse that says as follows: Ve'ata, and now Yigdal na, will become great, koyach, the might of Hashem. So explaining what's the greatness, what's the Yigdal of the might of Hashem, so it explains is exactly what we're talking about. His infinite patience, his infinite tolerance. Uvedibra maschil, or there's another mimer, a discourse, with the opening words, L'roika ha'aretz, based on the verse that says that Hashem spreads out the earth over the water. The inyan, and there it discusses that theme, Ma'amar Razal, the expression of Rabbi Seinu Zichrenim Livracha, of our rabbis of blessed memory, Al Pasuk, Basher Mishpatoi Sham Pa'oloi, based on a verse that says that where his judgment is, there is his activity. All right. So basically we're saying that just because you have idolaters and sinners, and they not only do they not seem to get punished, but they actually seem to have really, really good life, that doesn't prove anything, because if anything, it shows us Hashem's infinite, not just compassion, but his patience and his tolerance. All right. Let's try to do one more piece. Some of these pieces coming up are going to be like a little bit cryptic, or just pretty much telling us, that it's explained here, there, and just, giving us references, sort of. So
One
now we're on
second,
the
though.
top. What?
1 second, though.
Yeah.
So what's the answer at the end of the day? Why? Because it's Meichen the Godless. That's why the Eibishter is Soivel the Rishoyim and doesn't strike them down.
So we said in the previous piece that he told us to look up the Tosfos, and Tosfos over there says that it's in order to give them the opportunity to do teshuvah. So therefore, he's waiting. He does, just like he doesn't truly reward the tzaddikim till the future, so too he doesn't punish the Rishonim till the future, which is also a good thing for their benefit. It's out of his infinite kindness, because he wants to give them a chance to do teshuvah.
Wow! So that's like, there's a Zohar which says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will extend a kindness, or extend I don't know what the word exactly is, to somebody who, because of what they'll do in the future, that kind of thing. Got it. And that's, would that be in line with Moshe Rabbeinu, who looked to make sure that nothing good was going to come out of this person before he struck him down, and so on and so forth?
Could be, yes, that could
Okay,
be.
all right. I'm going back on mute. Sorry,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because after all, Hashem has got all the time in the world, because he created the world and he created time. So he's in no rush. Tov Kuf Yotes. We're on the top of page 519. We'll see if we could finish this piece. If not, we'll just have to stop, and then we'll start it again next time.
Okay.
However, b'mokim acher nisbaer, elsewhere it's explained b'oifen acher, different than what we just said, a different approach. And this is b'Torah Or, in the Alter Rebbe's Torah Or, Parshas Miketz, on the section for the portion of Miketz, B'Diber HaMaschil, in the opening mimer with the words, Ki imcha mekor chayim, quoting the verse that says that with you, Hashem, is the source of life. Ki hine ksivd, for there is a verse that says, Ram al kol goyim Hashem chuli. Hashem is exalted above all nations. Shemamis b'yadayim titafes chuli. As we had, I believe it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, that it says that the insect, the spider, can be held in the hands. And what we explained was that, allegorically speaking, in the king's chamber, in the corner of the room, there can be a tiny little insect doing its thing. And it is so irrelevant, and it is so unimportant, and the king could care less. And he doesn't need to kill it. He doesn't need to fight it. He doesn't have to bother with it. So too, we're saying that what's going on and what's happening doesn't necessarily have to, surely not affect, but doesn't have to get his attention. Va'azai, and then haOlamois, the worlds, all the worlds, from the highest all the way down, einam toivsim makim klal chuli, do not take up any form, any way, shape, or form of space or importance on any level. They're totally, totally irrelevant. They mean nothing. V'chein kasuv safety b'ramaskov edaber elokim chuli v'eira el Avraham, and so too in another mimer, v'chein kasuv b'ramaskov ki Avraham lo yodanu, and likewise in a third mimer. Ula asid lavoi, and in the future to come, Steve, there's a verse that says, when they will nourish. meaning that Hashem will then condense or contract himself. And so it's written elsewhere, Al Pi Medrash, based on the Medrash Bereshis Rabbah Seif Parsha Beis. This is what it says. But I still don't know which does Hashem desire, the righteous or the wicked. In other words, if everything is totally irrelevant and meaningless, so we can't look at it from our limited perspective of good and bad, of righteous and evil, of dark and light, of up and down. That's all our perspective. That's all our definitions. But from his true perspective, where there's mamish absolutely nothing and everything is irrelevant, so I don't know. What does he want? Is he interested in the righteous? Is he interested in what we perceive and call good? Is he interested in the evil that we call evil and bad? And this is what it says in the Zohar, Reish Parshas Vayigash, Daf Reish Hey Amud Beis, Be'ois Beis. The Ihu Siman Bracha, that this is a sign of blessing. V'itema the Aleph Chuli. Ela begin the Iskeri Bei Arder Chuli. Okay, so there it says that it's speaking about the letters Beis and Aleph. The Beis stands for blessing and Aleph stands for cursed. Ki Beis, because the letter Beis, Hainu Chachma. That represents the level of Chachma. As we find the verse, the Chachma Yivne Bayis. The verse says that with Chachma, he will build a house. But we're saying the word Bayis is the letter Beis. V'gam she'ishnir lekeser hanikra Aleph, and also because Chachma is second to Keser, and Keser is called Aleph. Moshiach in Parshas Bereshis, Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. V'Chachma hi bechinas din v'tzimtzum. Now, the sphere of Chachma serves the function of judgment, meaning contracting, concealing, condensing. Shelo yumshach, Chachma controls that whatever godly revelation should not come down. Rak b'mokim habitul. Only, it should only come to a level, to a place that have self-negate, self-nullification, and they are open to Hashem. Chachma hi koyach ma. As the word Chachma itself, the letters of Chachma is koyach ma. Koyach meaning the potential, the aspect of ma, of bitul. Ma is a question. Ma is question mark. Ma means what? In other words, bitul. Mashkasu b'teir orbedi b'maskil v'yei ovik ish uv'di maskil lahavin inin habrachos kavi peiseach bebaruch. Mashein can be b'chinas Aleph, but now when you talk about the Aleph, shehu erech hapayim, that is Hashem's patience or his slow to anger. Harisham over there at that level, which we mentioned, we threw in before that's Keser. On that level, like dark, like light. There is no difference. So that's before the Tzimtzum. That's before needing to have bittul. Over there, no bittul necessary because there's no differentiation between right and wrong or dark and light, etc. Lachain, therefore, gam bechinas arur knan yuchol lekabel yenika misham. Also, this aspect of cursed be Knan, which again, cursed is with an Aleph, he can receive his nourishment from there. Remember, after the flood, so after what happened then, Noach was, he was, what's the word? His son, Chum,
violated?
Yeah, his son violated him. So then, when he realized what had happened, so Noach cursed him. And he said, Oru Canaan, cursed is Canaan. So Canaan is cursed, and yet he can receive from Keser. Valderech zeh, and similarly, it's late. Pirish Amar Eiv Erdoif. Also, Eiv said, I will pursue. Okay, I think we're going to have to stop here. I don't want to mess you up with your next class.
Well, thank you. That was an excellent class, and I'm glad you got to join, Yossi. Glad we got you in here.
Okay, so
thank you. I wish we had time. I wanted to throw something out there for some people's opinion, but based on this, but we'll do it some other time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got another
Thank
class.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Yossi. Thank you, Rabbi Turen.
Sure.
All the best.